morning to you. Martin, thanks again for taking the time. Your take on what would have happened in Tobago?
Yeah, hi, good morning, Fazil, good morning, Kieran, and good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Fazil, similarly, there have been some challenges in Tobago, and I think nationwide with this rollout. Now, as we've said from the get-go, we are appreciative of the attempts by the government to at least allow an ease up of the restrictions. However, there is much need for more detail, more practical considerations, and for more support from the government in the sense of the enforcement. Because what we've had, the feedback we've had is that persons are saying, listen, how do we police this? If you have an unruly patron who insists that they want to come in, I mean, how many security guards are you going to hire? How many persons are you going to have at your establishment to try to contain that? Then you don't want a scene. Say, for instance, you have a dine-in restaurant, you don't want, to have a commotion and, bacchanal going on at your front door, with people who, trying to get in, and then, you demanding that they show the proof of the vaccination. And then, how do you police even, you as the owner? You busy, seeing about your chefs, your cooks, your food supply, all these other things. How do you police to make sure that every single person sitting in the restaurant has their vaccination card? It's really challenging from a practical perspective. And it has been a disincentive, I think, generally for the public, in that some persons who, even though they may have their vaccination cards, they feel it's an affront to them. Now, as I've indicated, last week, I was on Broadway and I went to see several shows in New York, and every playhouse is mandating vaccination and the vaccination cards. And there's no question about it. But you see, New York has made this part of their mandate in terms of legislative mandate from the city. So I think the government, while it is given the option there, it is really basically placing all the onus on the business person to manage this, whereas what is needed is firm legislative action. You saw Joe Biden mandated that all federal workers must be vaccinated. He didn't care. He said, listen, either you're vaccinated or you're not working, right? You've seen hospitals in the US take a similar stance. You've seen health centers. You've seen airlines take a similar stance. And they said, listen, okay, either you're vaccinated or you're not working, plain and simple. So therefore, it's difficult in this circumstance, particularly businesses that have already been hard hit through the pandemic, who are now going to try to struggle to reopen because you're not even sure how many persons you're going to get. So therefore, think of a restaurant for you. Your food supply, your food stock, your beverages, you have to manage these things on a daily basis all the time. And you are not even certain who's going to come, who's going to be turned away, that kind of thing. So it really has challenges. And I think that, as I said, while we're grateful for it, we definitely need more rigorous enforcement, and it has to come by way of some kind of legislative enforcement from the government, and not just in terms of a penalty for business owners of a fine of 25,000 if an unvaccinated person is on your premises. We need the government to be strong enough and say, listen, we are passing a law, if you understand me, and let them also be assisting the business persons in terms of policing the law.